If you study medieval buildings closely enough, a quiet contradiction appears. Boards that should have warped, split, or softened under centuries of damp air, smoke, and seasonal cold are still holding loads today. Floors remain stiff. Doors stay square. Roof decking resists sag long after iron fasteners have corroded away. This durability was not the result of superior forests or thicker trees alone. Medieval craftsmen understood that wood could be fundamentally strengthened before it ever became part of a structure. They applied a treatment so effective, so repeatable, and so closely guarded within guilds that it rarely entered written records. It was not decorative, and once complete, it was not obvious, which is why it vanished from common knowledge. This guide breaks down that method clearly, practically, and without embellishment, because the technique matters as much now as it did then. Medieval craftsmen knew raw boards were structurally unreliable. Fresh sawn wood is unstable by nature. Moisture remains trapped inside the fibers, and as the board dries unevenly, internal stresses develop. Over time, this leads to cupping, twisting, and a gradual loss of strength. Medieval builders worked in climates with long wet seasons, poor ventilation, and constant smoke exposure. If boards were installed untreated, they failed early. Craftsmen observed something critical. Boards exposed to certain liquids, smoke-filled environments, or repeated heating cycles behaved differently. They stiffened, they resisted insects, they cracked less, and carried weight more reliably. These effects were not accidental. They were engineered through a strengthening process that altered the wood's internal chemistry. It's the most important and least discussed part of this process was tannin infusion. Tannins are naturally occurring compounds found in oak bark, chestnut, walnut, hulls, and certain leaves. Medieval tanners understood tannins deeply because they used them to convert animal hides into leather. Woodworkers learned from them. Boards intended for flooring, doors, benches, or structural decking were soaked in tannin-rich solutions before installation. Oak bark was boiled for hours to create a dark, acidic liquor. Boards were submerged for days or even weeks, depending on their thickness. This process accomplished three things at once. First, it displaced free water inside the wood. Second, it reacted with lignin and cellulose, stiffening the fiber bonds. And third, it rendered the wood unpalatable to insects and fungi. Once dried, these boards were noticeably heavier, harder, and more resistant to abrasion. The increase in strength was not cosmetic. Tannin-treated boards resisted compression and bending far better than untreated timber of the same size. This method remained inside guild workshops because medieval craftsmen protected practical knowledge aggressively. Written manuals were rare and intentionally vague. Any technique that improved material strength without increasing material cost offered a major competitive advantage. Apprentices learned through observation, repetition, and correction, not written instruction. Tannin treatment also left very few visible clues once complete. Unlike charring or carving, it produced no obvious surface marker apart from a subtle darkening. That invisibility helped the technique fade from historical attention, even as the boards themselves endured. After tannin soaking, boards were not rushed into use. Instead, they were dried slowly in smoke-filled spaces. Smoke curing mattered. Low heat drove out remaining moisture, while smoke compounds sealed surface pores. Phenols and aldehydes in wood smoke added another layer of fungal resistance. This drying phase could take weeks. Boards were carefully stacked with spacers to allow proper airflow. Craftsmen watched closely for warping, correcting it while the wood was still pliable. Once set, the boards held their shape stubbornly. The combination of tannin saturation and smoke curing produced wood that behaved more like an engineered material than raw lumber. These strengthened boards were reserved for high-value applications: door planks, stair treads, floors in great halls, monastery benches, wagon beds, and storage lofts all received tannin-treated timber. These components needed to endure weight, wear, and moisture simultaneously. In castles and fortified towns, treated boards were used in hoardings and elevated walkways, exposed to rain and sun. Their resistance to rot was critical in defensive structures that could not fail under load. This method remains practical today with minimal adaptation. To replicate it, begin by sourcing tannin-rich material such as oak bark, acorns, or walnut hulls. Boil these materials for several hours until the liquid darkens significantly. Fully submerge rough-sawn boards and weigh them down to prevent floating. Allow them to soak for at least 3 days for thin boards and up to 2 weeks for thicker stock. After soaking, remove the boards and let them dry slowly in a shaded, ventilated space. If possible, expose them to wood smoke from a low-temperature fire. Avoid direct flame or high heat. Rotate boards periodically and correct early warping by weighting or clamping during drying. These boards are ideal for cabin floors, tool benches, exterior doors, raised storage platforms, and load-bearing shelving. The process adds time, but it dramatically extends service life. The survival of medieval wooden interiors is not accidental. Builders understood that strength was created before assembly, not after failure. By altering wood at the cellular level, they reduced maintenance, conserved resources, and ensured reliability in an era when replacement was costly and slow. This knowledge was quiet, practical, and ruthlessly effective. That is why it lasted for centuries. If this breakdown helped you better understand medieval craftsmanship and apply it in your own projects, subscribe to In the Beginning. Share this episode with fellow history and survival enthusiasts, and help preserve the techniques that built the world we inherited.